This is it, folks. The very last Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure wave ever. Let's talk about it. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. I'm your host, Dakota, here with my co-host, Jordan. And today, there was posed a very interesting question in the Facebook groups. What if Marvel Legends only made one more Build-A-Figure wave, and that was the end of Marvel Legends forever? What figures would you want to be part of that Build-A-Figure wave? So I'm curious to know what you all think. But Jordan and I have compiled a list of what we would want as our kind of end of Marvel Legends. This isn't necessarily a wish list per se, because I would love to see a Kashala Marvel Legend, as you all know, but she doesn't really fit this category of Build-A-Figure wave. This is kind of meant to fill like important characters, round out a shelf, maybe complete a team. And I will say, this is my list. This is not really for the community. I think if this was for the community, sure, I'll put Feral on there and some of the other ones that everybody's always wanting. To me, I don't need a Feral Marvel Legend, so I didn't put her on my list. Fair warning.
And, you know, I'll get this out of the way right away. Frankencastle is not on this list, Dakota, to both your surprise and maybe the surprise of the listeners. Very similar to Kashala. You know, I know there's fans, but I was trying to be somewhat realistic with this. Okay.
Nice. I like it. Because I know that's your number one. So both of our number one wishes are not actually on this list. So that's good. We've tried to narrow it in on a category here. So these are just our delusions. This is obviously not an official wave coming from Marvel Legends. Maybe some of these figures, honestly, I hope some of these figures come, but maybe some will never come. If you do want to get your real life Marvel Legends, you can head over to gonewmeta.com, get your Marvel Legends there. And if you want to use code STRONG101, that'll get you 10% off. That's on anything. You want that new Juggernaut? Boom, 10% off. Shumagorf / Gargantuos, whatever his name is. Boom, 10% off.
We're calling him Shumagorath here.
If it's on sale, 10% off. Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. I don't think he's going to mind us dead naming him.
Yeah,
we're going with it. But I will start us off with our Build-A-Figure waves here.
Are you going to tell us the Build-A-Figure first, or are you going to do figures and Build-A-Figure at the end to keep us in suspense?
I'll save my Build-A-Figure to the end.
Good.
Yes,
okay.
I'll like any Marvel Legends reveal. This is going to be a Build-A-Figure last.
All right. What do we got?
I don't know exactly which one of these isn't coming with a Build-A-Figure. Maybe that'll be like the last character, I think.
Okay.
The first character, though, I've said this, I feel like, several times recently, but I really need a Baron Mordo. I want a classic green, give him the cape. He could come with some spell effects. I need Baron Mordo to complete my Offenders.
Okay.
Now, you laughed at me for saying that the team was called the Offenders, Jordan, and a commenter pointed out that is the foils to the Defenders, is the Offenders.
Well, and then there's a third group that has a first part to their name, and they're not allowed within 100 feet of schools.
Right.
But we don't talk about those guys. Okay.
Baron
Mordo. That's a good choice.
No, we don't talk about those. Those are... Yes. Thank you. I think that was the only one I was thinking that maybe we would have some overlap on. Maybe there's other ones in this list, but I kind of... I don't think so, but that was the one I was thinking maybe we would overlap on. Because you love your magic characters. It'd go great with your Shumagorath.
That's true.
My next one... my next one is probably on some people's wish lists, but not many. But this is my list, and it is mine. And I would like a Moltar. So word on the street is we're going to be getting a Warbow. That's 2 Crystal Warrior figures, which I'm super excited about. But I do need somebody for my Crystal Warriors to go up against, and I would only need Moltar. I would obviously take the rest of the Crystar crew. But if I just had my one bad guy, even just Crystar and Moltar really would be enough for me. Warbow's a cherry on top. So I think he could be a standard figure. I don't think he needs to be a Build-A-Figure. I would love to see it. Then, getting into something that I think a lot of people would actually like is going to be on the Black Widow body is an Elektra. I think the SPDR one looks fine, but functionally, we've gotten a lot better upgrades to the articulation. And even if it was on Shriek, like I just want a little bit better functional Elektra. I think the Black Widow body is probably the one to go with.
It's just like a classic red Elektra, you're saying.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm super happy that I have a Daredevil Elektra. That's a cool look for her, but I do want the classic red Elektra.
Yeah.
The
That's a
white
good
one from the
pick.
3-pack, I've never really read her too much in the white costume, so that's why I want the red costume. Is the Elektra from the 3-pack, is that just on the Shriek body? I think it is.
It might be. I was just distracted
Do
by
you even
all
still
the
have her?
hair. I do still have her. I kept her. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Might be one to. I haven't looked up her prices recently, but she might be one to get out the door. Next is another one, and a timely figure at that. I would love a pink armored Ironheart. I like my champions. I think that's a cool new modern team, not the new champions. I've only read 2 issues of that. Not a bad comic either. It's more geared towards kids, so calm down, older nerds. But I do like the champions team with Ms. Marvel. We could use a kid Cyclops, but I'm okay with not having him on the team. We got the Amadeus Cho, we got the kid Nova, so a pink suited Ironheart, I would love it. And the show's out. Let me know what you think of the show, but it's not as bad as a lot of people are saying. If a lot of people are telling you it's trash, they don't know. I've seen the first 3 episodes. I've chatted with other people that have seen the first 3 episodes. Give it a chance, people. Give it a chance. Then, my 5th in this list, I'm sticking with the champions. The only other figure on the champions that we don't have to complete the team. Ironheart is like kind of she's a champions member, but she's not like one of the founding like new champions. I need the founding members. That means I need a Viv Vision. I think she's really, I mean, like there's like the Ultimate Vision, but that's not really, I don't think, a super important character. We've gotten the White Vision. We've gotten the Void Wave Vision, which I think is the best Vision so far. Are we getting was there a new Vision in that leaks list?
Best Vision.
So we need Vision's daughter. I think you
maybe
there's an argument
2-pack.
that could be like a 5-pack, get the whole Vision family, because Vision, mom, 2 kids, and the dog, Sparky, I think. That could be kind of fun. But I think really you just need Viv Vision. She's kind of the only one that like sticks around. Sparky could be like that'd
Maybe
be a fun
there's a
accessory.
super multi-pack wave. You get that, and then Red Ghost super pack.
There you go. I don't think the fans would be too upset, although I don't think a Vision family would sell as well as a Red Ghost. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Then the last figure in the wave is kind of a cheat to just get me a figure that we've already had before, and that's a reissue or a repacking of sorts for a Blue Beast. I think, like I've said before, that Retro Beast is my #1 favorite Marvel Legend, I think, of all time. Like, objectively. Like, there's other characters I like more. I like Beast, but I like other characters more, so it's, But I think objectively, very good figure. Very expensive figure, though. That's the problem. I would like to have that Beast in my collection, but if this is the last figures that we ever get from Marvel Legends, that Beast isn't getting any cheaper, and he's just going to get more expensive. So that's where I want some sort of a reissue of that Beast. I don't even need the lab coat. Save that. You could even save the beakers just to make it a Build-A-Figure character. Maybe he's the one that doesn't come with the Build-A-Figure piece, so that he gets his alternate head, his alternate hands, and then I'm happy with my Beast. And all of that leads us into the Build-A-Figure. The Build-A-Figure for me, there's some substantial figures I want, but I think if I could only choose one last Build-A-Figure, I would want an A-Bomb. So the very first figure on my list was Baron Mordo. That kind of goes along with that Red Hulk storyline. One of the first comics I was getting as a kid, like each issue as it was coming out. So A-Bomb, I think he was in issue 1 of that or issue 2. Very big part in that storyline anyway. So I think that's one of those Hulk characters that I would like to round out my Hulk displays. So that is my wave. Baron Mordo, Moltar, Elektra, a pink-suited Ironheart, a Viv Vision, a Beast, and an A-Bomb.
I'm a big fan of that wave. I think you got some good picks. I think A-Bomb is a good Build-A-Figure we haven't gotten yet, obviously, and fits your tastes. I know it'd be very substantial, so I approve. I like it.
Hold up, before we get to Jordan's list, look at how many of the folks watching this are not subscribed. This is your reminder to hit the subscribe button. And right next to that is the like button, so you might as well hit that too. It really helps the channel, shows us that you like what we're doing, and we'll keep doing more of it. There's a join button too. Just saying.
Okay, so for mine, again, I've got also 6 figures, and the first one I'm going to give you is a long-standing request of mine, a civilian, but I think people want them. You know what I know, Dakota. We're going to get, finally, our comic book Jarvis, and he's coming
that's
with
not even
the
what I thought you were
Hoover.
gonna say.
Oh, okay. All right. What did you think I was going to say?
I thought you were going to say Uncle Ben.
No.
Okay.
It's, again, I'm even reeling in a lot of my own desires. So I think Jarvis would be a better seller because you do need him for your Avengers displays. As much as I love Uncle Ben, I know there's not as many fans out there as there are Jarvis fans, and we can only get one civilian. So that civilian in this wave is going to be Jarvis. And he may or may not be the one without a Build-A-Figure piece because there might be a lot of people wanting Jarvis. I don't know, but we'll see. So you're going to get Jarvis. Your next one you're going to get is going to be another favorite of mine, but again, I think that people want it, Battle Damaged Spider-Man. So he's going to be, I don't know how damaged. I want Torment-style damage, but I think even if this is a last wave, you need a hot seller. And it was like, you need a Captain America, Wolverine, Spider-Man type. I'm going with the Spider-Man. So maybe this would be the one without a Build-A-Figure, though, because everybody wants Spider-Man. So if we're going to have a Spider-Man, I think Battle Damage is going to be the look to get for him in this last wave. I do want a villain in here, and we do need a female. So I'm going to go with Morgan Le Fay, because Morgan Le Fay is a long-standing Avengers villain, immortal-ish sorceress that we have not seen, and I think people would like to get her for your Avengers displays. Another villain that we haven't gotten. She could come with some cool effects. And I think people would be pretty happy to finally have a Morgan Le Fay in their collection, and that scratches my supernatural mystical itch. My fourth figure, now this is going to round out a team, and this will be none other than Mastermind in his classic kind of brown frilled collar suit look. So you could finally have your complete original Masters of Evil, because we've gotten Blob, we've gotten Magneto, we've gotten Green Quicksilver. We don't have, technically, the Green Scarlet Witch, but we could flub it and get a Mastermind, and I think you could then be pretty happy to have your final original Brotherhood of Evil Mutants display, which technically we got him, I think, in the Hellfire pack, but he's not in that classic look. So I think the brown suit with his little pencil mustache is going to be the way to go for me here. This next one, Dakota, is one that I definitely thought you were going to have, and that would be an updated Yellow Jacket.
Yeah, I would like that.
I think we are desperately in need of an updated Yellow Jacket, because I tried to do a blend of new ones with ones that would be updates, and I think we really do need an updated Yellow Jacket, and that would go great with your Avengers displays, because I don't think the older one can really stand toe-to-toe with most of the stuff we've got nowadays. And finally, to round out our wave, I'm going to go a bit nostalgic, retro. And it's not a team, but it's a team I wish we'd gotten, and it's going to be the Jim Hammond original Human Torch, the android Human Torch. And this is a little poetic, right, because the very first, technically not a Marvel, I think it is technically the first one, Marvel comic of, the Human Torch bursting out of his tube that kind of started off Marvel. Maybe it was timely at the time, and then it switched. But you know what I know, it's that famous cover. Dakota's going to put it on the screen so you can see it. But you're finally going to be able to get that original Human Torch. It'll be a sad reminder for me that I never got to fill out my Invaders team, but at least you'll get a retro Jim Hammond figure that started off this whole Marvel universe. And in another fitting sense, the Build-A-Figure, someone to bring us full circle, is going to have to be a comic book Watcher. Because we have not gotten the Watcher. We've gotten the Marvel Select. We got the Disney Plus version. We had the old Toy Biz one. But I want a Hasbro-style comic book Watcher as the Build-A-Figure, which I think would be a fitting send-off, right? As someone who has observed all the realities, everything that could happen, everything that's been going on, and give you a last little goodbye to the Marvel Legends line.
I think
That's what I got.
That is a beautiful wave, Jordan. I think you rounded it out so well and like made it like not only was it like figures that people would maybe want, but it was nostalgic. Like you said, you got the first issue of Marvel Legends on the last Marvel Legend, or not first issue of Marvel, but like the first issue of Marvel in the last line of Marvel Legends. You got the Watcher observing everything throughout time, and he's there to watch the end. Brings a tear to my eye, honestly. With that, folks,
Thank you.
Make sure you're liking, sharing, and subscribing. And until next time, stay strong.
I tried to get a little poetic, like what
Yeah.
what would you do if you were like the Marvel Legends makers, and like we're getting a little bit sentimental here, but we also want to, give you what you want. So my honorable mentions were Baron Blood, Swordsman, and a Mandarin.